welcome to your practice. So we're going to get started with 3 deep breaths with an essential oil if you like, totally optional. I'm using Shinrin Yoku. And we're just getting ready and we're arriving in between the 4 corners of our mat. So inhaling through the nose, pausing, and then exhaling through the mouth. 2 more. Inhale. Pause and exhale. Let it go. Drop the shoulders. Inhale. Pause and exhale. And we're going to start today's practice on your back. Keep the knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor, and then just take the knees gently side to side like windshield wipers, scanning your body from the top of the head to the tip of the toe and checking in. How are you feeling physically, but also emotionally and energetically as well? Never with judgment, and just checking in. And we'll go ahead and stop that little rocking from side to side and pick a knee, doesn't matter what knee because we'll do both. Hold on underneath your knee joint and just start to do nice circles. In one direction, we'll do both. And you can keep these circles as big or as little as you would like. Just breathing in and out as you circle. Maybe closing the eyes or a soft gaze. And then pause and then just change the direction of your circle for me. Maybe starting to invoke Ujjayi Pranayama, that ocean sounding breath, or just continuing to inhale and exhale. And then we'll bring that knee to center and just give it a nice pull in as close to your chest as it feels okay. And then on your next inhalation, release the knee out a little bit. And now exhale, pull that knee in as close as you can. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull it in. And then as you release, you're going to let the leg go all the way long and then windshield wiper the toes. There goes a block. And then we'll just set that foot down. And take that other knee in and just start your circles in one direction. Remember, we'll do both. Maybe checking into the mind right now. So what's going on? What's the chatter? This is a really great moment to open that sort of like yogi bookshelf space. Put whatever is going on in the mind there in the shelf in the drawer. It'll be there when we're done. Taking this important time for you and your body. And then pause and reverse the direction of your circle. We have to fill our cups first before we can fill others. Making sure that this is your practice. This time is just for you. And then we'll take that knee in as close to the chest as possible. And then inhale, release that knee. And then exhale, pull it in. See what's happening to the core as you do that. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull in. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. You're going to take the other knee, bring it in, holding up underneath the knee joint. Now inhale, both knees come away. Exhale, you really use your ab muscles. Pull that belly button in and down and pull those knees in. And see how the lower back feels. Inhale and release. Apanasana. Exhale, pull it in. 2 more. Inhale to release. Exhale to pull in. And then inhale. And exhale. We're going to hold here. Lift our head and our shoulders up off your mat so you're a nice little tiny ball. And then lift your legs straight up. Knees bent as much as you would like, and place a $100 bill in between your thighs. It's an imaginary one. And then we're just reaching for our opposite ankles. Flex your toes back and just do your best to keep those shoulder blades lifted from the mat so you can rest as needed. You can go faster than me, slower. You're just reaching up as tall as you can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze those thighs together. And keep breathing the breath. 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 2, maybe starting to feel some heat in the center. 1, and then we're going to pull those knees in, relax the head, bring the arms out like a T, and just let the knees fall to one side, back to center, and the other side. Just nice, easy little twist, and we're going to turn this into more of a core exercise. So after that next little twist, you're going to bring those legs back to center. You're still squeezing your $100 bill, and we're going to parallel the thighs. So even as I'm parallel and squeezing, my core is fired up. And you want to squeeze so it feels like if a 100-pound rock was going to fall on your tummy, you're squeezing that hard. And then pick away a direction. You're going to let the knees fall to where you start to feel your sides, your obliques engage, and then pull back to center. We inhale as we find that little lower, and exhale back to center. Play with how far the knees go. It might feel better for it to be a small movement, might feel better for it to be a big movement. And it'll probably feel different on different days. So whatever feels good for the back in this moment is what I want you to do. Inhaling and exhaling. One more each side. Inhaling, exhaling. Last one. Inhaling and exhaling. Then just drop the feet, walking the heels as close to the glutes as you feel comfortable with. And your feet are hip width apart. And you're taking your hands and pressing them down into the mat. It's like you're going to roll your shoulder blades right underneath you. Your chest is nice and open. You're pressing your hands down. And then when you're ready to breathe out, you're going to lift your hips up any amount. And then inhale, exhale, lower it down. So we inhale to prepare. And we exhale to lift. And then inhale, exhale, release. It's like you want to, as you lift up, it's like your pelvis is trying to shoot through your knees. And you'll feel your quads engage. We're going to do 2 more little rolling bridges. Maybe you go higher. Maybe you stay lower. Honor your back. It's so important to honor your back. One more time. And releasing down. Now you can just roll to the side to have a little sit up, or if you want to rock and roll to sit up, you choose your adventure. And we're going to come all the way to tabletop. Stacking our wrists and our shoulders, our knees and our hip. Spread those fingertips nice and wide. Find that suction cup. Take those elbows out like chicken wings. Clip and extend. Look down at your mat. Pull your belly in tight. So we're very active here in table. Press the tops of the feet down. As you breathe in, drop the belly. The chest goes in between the arms as we look up. And then we tuck the tail. Exhale, round the back, really drop the crown of the head. Inhaling, arching into cow. Exhale, rounding into cat. So then just follow your breath. How fast or slow you want to make this movement. If you find a sweet spot, feel free to stay, maybe find some organic movement there. Maybe now you want to start to invoke Ujjayi Pranayama. It's your practice. We're going to come back to neutral. You're going to curl your toes for me, and you're going to start to walk your hands so your booty comes towards your heels. So now this might be enough. You're feeling a stretch in your arches, your Achilles, your toes. Or if you want to walk back more, lift those knees up. You can. And then just play with lifting and lowering the knees. So we're just coming in and out of what we call toe stand. You can see I'm kind of just using my spider fingers here. And then maybe find a little place where we can hang out and breathe for just 3 breaths. So 3. 4, 2. Last one. And then you're just going to uncurl. Keep those knees super bent as we find ragdoll. Feet are hip width or even wider apart if that feels best. Those feet are parallel, and you can find some movements from side to side. You can grab opposite elbow if that feels good. Saying hello to those hamstrings, back side of the body. And then find some stillness for me. Really drop the crown of the head and breathe for 3. 4, 2. Then one more. And then just roll up through the spine, rolling those shoulders and head up last, and then you'll step towards the top of your mat. And remember, you can stand keeping those feet hip width, that your hips are not shoulder width. So even though gals, we have a little bit of a Q angle action, guys, we kind of go straight more down, whatever your gender was assigned at birth. Just our skeletal structure is a little bit different. So what you don't want to feel is like your knees are pushing together and it hurts. So that's how you kind of find what's going to work best for you. And then push your feet down and lift all 10 toes. And you're going to feel your arches lift. And then squeeze your thighs so your knees lift. And you're going to feel your lower body tighten up. Then float the toes, but keep that. Pull the navel in and up. And then roll your shoulder blades into your back pockets and lengthen the arms in Tadasana. Find your focal point, your drishti. And I want you to play with the external or internal or kind of neutral rotation of the hands today as you inhale. So as you inhale, see if you want to change kind of how you situate your hand there. And then as you exhale, push your booty back, bend the knees as much as you need to, drop the crown of the head, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back, really extend. Knees are always soft if that feels best, and feel like from your tailbone to the top of your head, a really nice long table. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Pull the navel in. You can hold a tray of water without spilling. And then exhale and fold it back. And now we're going to roll it up. Engage those legs. Squeeze that $100 bill or imaginary block, depending if your arms are or your feet are more together or apart. And then exhale, lift those arms up. And then exhale and back down. So inhale, maybe it feels better to do this sort of motion in your lift. And exhale, forward fold. So it's just playing. Inhale with the shoulder joint, saying, what does feel best for my shoulder? And then come to that flat back. It's like you're pushing down, you're squeezing, pull that belly tight. You're gonna make some wings, and then you push down to lift up. Maybe you come more frontal plane, and then we're gonna go right back down. So just finding what works best for your shoulder. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale to fold. Now you can pick roll up or that reverse swan dive up, whatever feels best. And last one here. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. And inhale, roll up or swan dive. Hands come all the way up. And then bring the hands to the heart center. Close the eyes if that's okay. And breathe a breath. Checking in. Perhaps you'd like to set an intention for your practice today. A word or a phrase that's meaningful to you. What do you want most from your practice today? And that'll be different for each of us. And then blink the eyes open and release the hands. Inhale, let's do frontal plane together. So we're lifting up. And then we're gonna exhale, bring it slicing down through the center, bending the knees, dropping the crown of the head. Inhale to a flat back. Bend the knees, and we're gonna step back to downward facing dog and take a walk. So first down dog, get comfortable. Remember all your alignment cues, so your feet are hip width, toes facing forward. Hips are high, heart to thigh. And if you take your ear side to side, you're gonna hit your biceps. Look at your hands, are in line with your shoulders. Spread your fingertips, suction cup. And then inhale onto your tippy toes. Bend your knees a whole lot. You got a lot of length in your spine, and that's what it's about. And then maybe we start to melt the heels, but that's not what's important. It's the length of the spine. Now lengthen your torso so it feels like you're trying to pull your rib cage away from your hip bones. You're like, I don't know what that means. That's okay. You know, a lot of times in yoga we say these things, and it's about how we build awareness in the body for when we're ready. And then we're coming into plank pose. You can always come to knee plank if you'd like. Nice long line, and really squeeze your shoulder blades. Pretend like there's a little acorn in between them. You're trying to just hold it there. Pull the navel in and up. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, coming forward. Find that nice stable plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward to the plank. Drop to the knees and still feel that nice solid position in your shoulder blades. And feel your collarbones open even more perhaps. We're going to lower halfway down, then drop the pelvis and lift into our little baby cobra. Press the tops of the feet down. Squeeze the thighs so the knees lift. Breathing, see if you can maybe take your elbows to kiss the sides and then lower down. You're going to tuck your toes, push to your knees and knee plank, and then downward dog. And then take your time to walk your feet all the way to your hands. Nice small steps. There always comes a point for me where I gotta grab blocks or spider fingers so I can make it all the way to the top. And then I'll meet you in a ragdoll. And then you get to pick, roll up or reverse swan dive up. And then frontal plane again, lift those arms. And now this time, sagittal plane, push it down, or is that transverse? I don't remember. So we'll do that side plane again. So we'll inhale, lift those arms up. And as we exhale, you're gonna sit back into that invisible chair. Thunderbolt, keeping that chest open. And you can always separate the feet to hip width or together. And as you look down, you should be able to see your big toes. So you may need to shift your knees and your shins back. That might mean you need to come up a little. And that's okay because we want to have some nice, good alignment where we want to build this strength. So arms can be up or forward as well. And I'll put your hands kind of, find your sacral bone. And notice if it's tucking or kind of sticking out. I think mine's sticking out a little bit. So I need to take my abdominals and tuck that a little bit. And then I say, maybe I can now lower down a little bit since I relieved my sacral area a little bit. I know, it's not fun holding chair pose. Inhale, lift up. We're gonna exhale right back down to chair. Bring your hands with you to heart center. Okay, find all your little alignment cues. Maybe you're squeezing that block or $100 bill. You're going to shift all of your balance towards your right foot, and then you're going to take your heel up towards your glute, flamingo, and spread your toes. I know that's weird, and you might be like, I can't spread them. That's okay, you just keep trying. And then we lengthen this leg back and land as softly as we can. And if you're like, that didn't go well, that's okay. It is not a problem. Now bend the knee and shift your hips forward. So we're finding that psoas. As you bend that top knee, you can see your big toes. Maybe we lengthen that back leg, but maybe it feels better to keep it bent. And let's lift those arms up and play with externally and internal rotating your hands. What feels best to you? And when you find it, stay there and breathe. Now you're going to drop the back heel and open up to warrior two. Take your hands to your hips and do kind of some little pelvic rocks, some forward and backs. What's going on with your pelvis here? And then as you bend the knee, let the pelvis do what it wants. Okay, I know a lot of times I talk about squaring, but as I'm doing some revisitation of anatomy for yoga, that is not possible for a lot of people. So I also like to talk about feet alignment, as you know, heel to arch alignment. And you can also always just do what's best. What feels best for your legs to be stable and strong in warrior two? Open your heart, and it's like you're holding bowls of soup, and then you just turn the palms and look over the fingertip. Flip that palm and then reverse that warrior for me. Really big side stretch. Keep that front knee bent, and then you're going to do that little pretend cartwheel. And maybe you want blocks. I'm going to grab mine just so you can see. And we're going to step back into our plank. Everybody's going to drop to our knees. We're going to shift forward slightly. Then we're going to bend the elbows, come down halfway, let the pelvis drop, and we find a cobra. Maybe it's a little higher using the blocks. And then push back to your knee plank. Curl the toes, downward facing dog. Now bring your toes together in the back of the mat and pick a leg, doesn't matter. And you're going to cross it, and it's like you're going to step off your mat, but you don't. And then you just do it to the other side. A little crissy-cross walk, feels super weird, but your IT band and your TFL is getting a little wake-up call here. When you come to the front of your mat, bend the knees, and rag down. And then I want you to engage those legs, come into that nice half lift, half forward fold. Pretend like there's that chair behind you. Bend the knees, lift up into your chair. Ooh, and now I'm a little off balance today, and that's okay. Trees are made to move in the wind. So now we're shifting all of our balance onto our left foot, and that right heel kicks our glute. Spread the toes, flamingo. And then we take as long as you can, and if you have to get into it, you fall, that's okay. We're finding that high crescent, hands come to the hips, and we really bend that back knee. We kind of lift those hips forward, and then maybe we extend the back leg. And then again, play with the rotation of your hands. See what works best. Look down, you should see your big toe. This is our high crescent. Your back foot, you're going to turn the back foot. We're opening to warrior two. So hands come to the hips, and again, because from side to side in warrior, it might be a different story. So we're just finding that warrior, opening up, finding your stability and your alignment. And then we're really stretch, it's like we're stretching our wings, and you look over your fingertip. Inhale, flip the palm, exhale, reversing. Feeling that stretch from your hip to your fingertip, keep bending in that front knee. And we use our core to lift us all the way. Blocks or no blocks, we step back to plank. Now if you want to come with me to go into up dog, We're gonna shift forward even more. We're gonna really kiss the ribs and then roll onto the tips of our toes. And if you want to cobra, that's okay too. Everybody's gonna come to knee plank. Then we'll curl the toes and come to down dog. Breathing in and out. Walk your feet forward a little bit. That just helps, so then you can step one foot to the outside of the mat and then your other. And maybe your block goes right underneath. You can come to catcher's pose, or those heels are turned in, the toes are turned out, and we find Malasana Yogi Squat. And we're gonna breathe for 3. For 2. And then the hands drop down, we lift the hips up. I'm just gonna move my blocks towards the top of the mat. And tic-tac those feet all the way in. And then you get to pick rolling up or reverse swan dive up. Lifting those arms up in any plane you like. And then we'll all bring our hands to the heart center. So one more little sun bee, what I'm calling sun bee today, for our warm up. So find your wrist deep, check on your feet, how they doing. Zip everything up, shoulder blades into the back pockets. You have that pretend couch underneath you. Go ahead and sit down, bring those hands to wherever it feels comfortable. Straight out in front, overhead, they can stay to heart center. What's going on with your back? Can you see your toes? We're gonna shift all of our weight into our left foot. Nope. I can't remember my right from my left right now, you guys. We're gonna shift it to your left foot, yes. And then your right foot, your heel comes up to your glute. Spread the toes, flamingo. I'm gonna bring my hand to heart center. And then really as slow as you can, extending, keeping that heel up, bending, finding that nice little psoas stretch, maybe extending, maybe lifting, finding what feels best for you, and crescent. Deep breath in, on your breath out, open to your warrior. Take your time to set it up. Can you see your big toe? Flip that top hand, reverse. It's a beautiful side bend. And then we cartwheel to our blocks or to the floor, and we step. Now I'm going to do high plank to cobra. So we still shift forward, we still keep it tight, but then we drop our hips and find our cobra. And then wherever you are, we're gonna push to knee plank. Big squeeze in that belly. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Inhale, lift the right leg up in the air. Heel to glute. Your knee comes to your chest as you do a kitty cat back, a step forward. And then just rock and roll forward and back just a little bit. And now take that big step forward and fold. Come to your flat back, halfway lift, push down, and then lift all the way up. And as the hands come to the heart center, we're gonna sit back into chair. $100 bill, how's that sacrum doing? And then we shift all of the weight. Pulling that heel up, squeeze, really spreading those toes. And slow, slow, slow. Extend. The knees, as you fall, are both bent, so you can take that psoas forward, and then maybe lengthen the leg. Find your arms when you're ready. And then as you're ready, open up. Warrior two. I'm saying maybe and as you're ready a lot today. That's just me. That's who I am as a teacher. So inhale, flip the palm, reverse it. And then big cartwheel. I'm gonna do no blocks this time. Coming to your plank high or low. Shift halfway. You can also come all the way down. That helps you to get into up dog. Okay, lots of little tricks and modifications there. And then we're going to pull to our plank and downward facing dog. You did amazing. Take the feet together. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Heel to glute. Knee to chest, kitty cat back as you step forward. And then we just rock. That's for the Achilles and the heel. And then step it up. Big knee bend. Let it all hang over. Roll it up. Zip it up. Arms come up whatever plane you want. And exhale. Hands to the heart center. Beautiful. Okay. I apologize. My right from my left is not at its finest form today. So you're going to put all of your weight into your right foot. And you're going to cross your left foot over. And then you're going to bend the knees. And you can always have a kickstand. Or maybe you lift up. Some people can wrap their foot around. I cannot. And it's not about the wrap, it's about the balance. Hands come to heart center. Maybe you want to sink a little bit deeper. This is eagle legs. And now lift up strong and bring that left knee to 90 degrees. You're flexing that foot. You got to flex in the hip. Now let's release it by doing that same little step back. It's just a little bit different. We lift the arms right up, crescent pose. Inhale as you exhale, we're coming to a low lunge. Remember, grab those blocks if you'd like to. Plant the hand and twist. Right arm lifts. There we go. Ooh, girl. Now we're coming out of the twist. Your back foot is going to rotate your heel up. And maybe you come up on to like a little modified skandasana. You might use a block to kind of bring yourself down to sit on your block, skandasana, and maybe you don't need a block at all. So lots of options, skandasana. I know this is especially because we're getting into the adductors. It's hitting right there, and we're tight there. So if you're not where I am, be where you are, because that's where you need to be, okay? So we're in skandasana. And if you are kind of in this little modified skandasana, you're going to take your back foot down, heel to heel or heel to arch. You're bending the top knee, the elbows there. We open up. Let me really see you. Open up like you're pulling a boat, and then your arm comes up overhead. Or if this feels better, please do that as your option here. We're going to lift up. You start to straighten that top leg. Reverse your triangle. Then come into a T. Maybe shorten your stance. Little sassy hip. You're reaching for your friend. Hand to thigh, shin, blocker, floor. It's, again, pull the bow and arrow open. If you'd like to do a half bind, please do. It's just you're reaching your arm behind to come to this little hip crease here. Or wherever, just somewhere along the back. Don't worry about the hip crease. I don't even know why I said that. And now we're going to lift all the way back to that reverse. I'm releasing that bind. And then I'm cartwheeling. I got to just take my block out of the way. So you can do a vinyasa, or you can go right to down dog. So it's going to be up to you. Keeping the collarbones open as you chaturanga. Finding your downward facing dog. Step the feet together. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Heel to glute, knee to chest, cat back. Stepping forward, sit back a little bit to spring up, and then fold. Let's come to our half back. Really engage the legs, pull that core tight, arms come up. We reverse the swan dive, and we exhale, hands to the heart. So we're just switching everything here. So we're going to put all of that weight onto our left leg, and we're kickstanding again. So crossing the toes, bending, maybe it comes up. If you got the wrap, did I just do that side? Yeah, I was backwards. You should be like this. Woo, am I gonna post this video? Yeah, why not? Nobody's perfect. So I have my hands at my heart center for my eagle pose. And if you're shifting around doing the hula dance, that's good. That is very good. You're challenging your proprioception and your balance, your core strength. Now we're lifting up to single leg balance. We have that nice 90-degree leg. Our hip is flexed. And now we're going to start to shift forward. We're going to extend the hip, landing in our crescent pose. Breathe the breath in, and as you breathe out, remember you can always use blocks to come into your little lunge. And we take that right arm down and we twist open with that left arm. So Skandasana is coming next. So I just rotated, come up, lift my heel. This is perfect. I can even come down onto my elbow. I can use a block and lots of different levels to find my Skandasana. And you know, like even if you can do this without a block, maybe try it with a block and see if like you shift some stuff around, does it change the pose for you? Instead of just going into autopilot, maybe explore a bit. So we're gonna come into side angle. So it's great if you're here, we drop the back foot, we place that elbow to the knee, and we draw that bow and arrow, and you can lift it overhead, or you can even half bind. It's a choose your own adventure kind of deal. So as we start to come up, we lengthen, release the bind, reverse the triangle. We come to the T, back foot, maybe you wiggle it up. You really sassy that hip, reach for your friend, and hand comes to thigh. Block shin floor, and open up to a beautiful triangle. Keep the chest and the collarbones long and open. And then we're gonna reverse our little triangle so that we can do our fun little cartwheel. Move the block out of the way. Remember, you don't have to vinyasa. You can always meet me right in down dog. Remember all of your options, okay? So we're going to kind of put that all together, I think, into one big flow right and left, and then we'll cool it down. Now I want you to choose your own adventure here and get to the top of the mat, your feet to the top of the mat in any way that you want to. So I'm gonna do like a little wide leg fold, a little walking, and then I'll meet you in ragdoll. And then just roll up. So there was a pose or two that were difficult. Lift the arms up, bring the hands to the heart center, close the eyes. I want you to pause for a minute and notice how you were talking to yourself during those moments that were difficult. Were you getting mad at me? Were you getting mad at yourself? Your body? It's just a yoga pose. It's a practice. And so one of the best things one of my yoga teachers did is when you are struggling, bring a smile and welcome the chance to get better, you know? And we have that. We can practice this on the mat, so when we're out in the world, we can just release, let it go, smile, control that stress reaction, control our biology. So drop the hands, find your drishti. Inhale, and on your exhale, let's come into chair. Put all of your weight onto your right foot and kick your left heel to your glutes, spread your toes. And then slowly, we come into crescent for this one. Bend the knees, find that psoas stretch, perhaps lengthen. Inhale and exhale. And then open up to your warrior two.
reverse your warrior, because I could not just think about what I wanted to say right then. And then you're going to come back to warrior two, come back to crescent pose. Now your right foot, you're going to shift forward to balance on your right, cross your left over, and find eagle. And I'm going to bring my hands to the heart center. That was a hard transition. You're doing great. Then we lift to our knee balance. We extend the hip. We find that crescent pose again. And then we take our arms down to the floor. We find that low lunge twist. We drop the palm. We open with the right hand. And then we're going to find Skandasana from here. So find where you'd like to be. Just showing you another version if you want to try with no blocks. My hands are just behind us on like a little spider. And then we're going to find our way to side angle. Half bind if you'd like. Now, see if you can lift and serve. Now, if that was too much, you can bring the elbow back. Little core challenge. Okay, we're gonna come all the way up and back, reverse that triangle. All the way to full triangle. And from here, you're gonna walk to the center of your mat, and you may want blocks or something here. Your 10 toes are actually turned in slightly, okay? Bend those knees as much as you need to. Hands can be on blocks. So we're in wide leg forward fold. You're gonna take your right hand anywhere towards your left leg. And if it doesn't reach it, that's okay. It can just be on the mat. And we're gonna open up and twist. Now you can stay here if somebody that needs a challenge, and I gotta shorten my stance to do it, but you can also reach your left hand to your right leg, but it's just crossing the arms. And it's tough and it feels, it's hard. So it's not something that you have to do, it's just an option. And then come back to center. So there's all kinds of people who take my classes. I want you to enjoy. So now we're going to the other side. You're grabbing anything or just the mat to twist open, okay? And if you want to shorten your stance and try that little cross grab, hey, knock yourself out. It's your practice. And then we'll release, and just release down into the stretch. Let it feel good. You can add a little movement if you want. And then we're just gonna walk so that we're in a low lunge. And you're gonna lift your right leg into three-legged dog. And then open the hip. Oh, that feels incredible. And then extend, heel to glute, knee to chest. We're gonna step forward. We're gonna lean it back. We're gonna step forward. We're going right into chair. So sit that booty back. And I'm gonna bring my hands to my heart. We're gonna go into the flamingo. So our heels come into our glute. And then we slowly, slowly, slowly extend and find our crescent. And I think I just did the same. No, did I? I think I literally don't remember. So this is what happens. Because as I'm practicing, I'm getting yoga brain, and then I'm like, my right from my left. Hang on. Just hang out in ragdoll for me. Let me retrace my steps a little bit. Because I did triangle this way. So, okay. If you're in ragdoll, find your way to standing for me and sit back into your chair. Okay. It's your right heel to your glute. And then we extend it nice and long, finding that crescent. Finding that little lunge. There we go. And remember, you can always stay here if you don't want to come into Skandasana. And yes, I know I skipped the twist. My brain's a little discombobulated right now. And then we'll come back up to find that side angle. Taking your time. Maybe do that little core check. And then I just reached my arm out and I just reversed. And then I found my triangle. So we're going to come back to triangle. We find our crescent. So the back foot is coming up over the top. Lifting, crossing, eagle. I don't know why my right and left are just, not, and I just think that I totally did like two, well, it doesn't matter. Come back to knee balance and to crescent. Yeah, I totally did that. Low lunge, here's a twist. And so we already did, so what's kind of cool, even though I messed it up, that was fun. We're gonna come to wide leg forward fold. And I'm just gonna turn to face you. And just hang out here. There's nothing fancy that needs to be done. So, if I was teaching a real class, this would be your experience. I would totally mess up my right from my left. And it's a lesson for me too. Like I could be all upset. Oh my God, I'm not gonna put, why? It's fine. We did everything on the right and left, messed up the key sequences, and I had to think about my right from my left from time to time. No big D. All right, and then we're coming back to the low lunge, and then we're gonna come back to down dog. Now you can choose to do one more vinyasa if you'd like, or you can join me in a nice table. Beautiful. So I'm not going to say what side I'm doing because I think my brain's all done with that. So pick a leg and shoot that dude out to the side. Okay. So now we have this leg, this hand. We got to do the opposite arm and lift it up. Ooh, yes. And then we're going to slide to thread the needle and maybe extend. And maybe push back. There's so many things you can try here to see what works best for you. I didn't like the sit back. And now I'm going to bring my hand back so I can open up the twist. This is what I like the best. And then come back to table. So then we switch. We just put that other leg out. Okay. So I got to do that opposite hand. Oh yeah. Twist. And then thread. Push back if you want, or you can stay with me. The hand's extended. We just pull it back so we can unthread that needle. And come to table. You can have a seat. We're coming all the way to the booty. And we're extending our legs into a straddle. You may want pillows, blocks, whatever you got. Or you may not want anything. So this is an ego-driven pose because we think our legs should be like middle split and pancake to the ground. So that's not what we're doing today. We're honoring where we are. So you might need to change how big of a pie slice you're doing in your straddle. What I want to happen is for you to flex your feet and all your toes go straight up. So if you see them start to move, then you've gone too far. You need to come up and probably lengthen your pie slice, or make your pie slice smaller. There we go. So sit up nice and tall for me. And then as we walk forward, you're keeping a nice long spine. So if you feel yourself start to round, you've gone too far. Okay, so I'm feeling a stretch here. And then maybe I can stretch a little bit farther, keeping my back straight. And then you get to let your back round. But now look and see what happens to those feet. Make sure that the 10 toes stay up. And close your eyes and breathe if that feels comfortable. And then just start to lift yourself up slow. Yeah. And then find however you'd like to sit. And take your time to do that. And just notice, like, especially since we got into those adductors, those inner thighs, are you noticing any shifts? Are you noticing any shifts anywhere? Are you also like, yes, another girl that has a worse sense of direction than I do? Do not tell me northwest, east, south. I turn at the McDonald's. That's all I got. So, sit up nice and tall and close your eyes. So, what's, that I guess kind of brilliant is, how I struggled on the mat, couldn't remember my right from left, screwed up the sequence. I think about how that parallels to my regular life, and I can laugh about it on the yoga mat, and I fake it till I make it, right? And I'm gonna let it go because I still had a great practice, and it was a new sequence. Hey, and then I think, wow, but when I'm in different situations outside of the mat, am I able to do that? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So that's why, when we struggle, with the balance, we're wibbly wobbly, when something's difficult, when the teacher does it out of order, now I'm upset because I couldn't just go on autopilot. Well, it's kind of a wake-up call. It's a gift if you allow it to be. So maybe think about the areas in life where you're on autopilot, areas in life where you're not allowing yourself to color outside of the lines, not allowing yourself grace. And we're just going to inhale, take those arms all the way overhead, and we'll take our thumbs to the top of our head for what you know. Your third eye for what you think you know. Your mouth for what you say. And your heart for what you feel. Knowing that this all works together. And we have the moments to, when we're, on the edge, to say, how am I going to choose to respond? How am I going to let this influence my day? Taking a moment to breathe, and maybe to even bring a smile to your lips. Thank you so much for practicing with me, my friends. Meta, meta, meta. Thank you, thank you, thank you.